Hi, this is Megan, and in today's video, I'm going to show you the Creative Memories Border Maker System. So these are the three components that come with every Border Maker system. You're going to get a cartridge holder, you're going to get a paper holder, and you're going to get the Picket Fence Border Maker cartridge. You will hear the reference to the term BMC, and that refers to a Border Maker cartridge. If you see the letters BMS for Border Maker System, that refers mostly to these two pieces here, the cartridge holder and the paper holder. So the basics of this system are that you would take your cartridge, and you have two sides to the cartridge. You have the smooth side that has, on these black ones, has the Creative Memories logo. On the other side, it has a picture of the cartridge, what style it is, and then it has the teeth, the metal teeth. So when you load it into your system, you want to keep the teeth facing forward, and you push it in, and it will lock into place. There's a little lever that comes up, and it locks the cartridge into place. And then the next thing you need to do is go ahead and load paper into your paper holder. So you have to, on the bottom, there is a tray that flips out and helps you align your paper. So I have a piece of cardstock that I'm going to feed in here. I'm going to lift up my blue arm, slide my paper in, and there's magnets. So there's a magnet here, and there's a magnet here that are going to hold the paper in place. So I close this. This tray flips back underneath. And now I've got paper sticking out ready to punch. On the back side here, you can see these notches. And these are where the notches of the cartridge are going to slip into place every spot here. And it's going to let you punch your border nice and evenly. It will make it will slide along here 6 times, make 6 punches. Each one of these Border Maker cartridges is 2 inches wide. So I will be making 6 punches down the line. When I'm punching here, I'm going to go ahead and I slide it in, and I keep a little bit of pressure over here towards my paper holder so that I make sure I'm locked nice and solid into place. And then I keep sliding down. Sometimes you will not be able to just keep sliding down. Sometimes you'll have to actually pull out and then push back in. It really depends on the cartridge. Every cartridge can be a little bit different. So one thing you're going to want to do is you're going to make sure you clear out all the pieces so that you're not getting those binding up into your Border Maker cartridge. Picket Fence generally punches pretty good, especially with cardstock. Sometimes you'll have to actually clean this out after every punch. Like I said, it really depends on which cartridge you're using. So you can see here with Picket Fence, it does a nice zigzag pinking edge here, and then it cuts out these individual grooves that you can actually weave paper in and out of. It's really neat. One of the things I want to point out here, in terms of the style, the Picket Fence is what we call a topper or an edger Border Maker cartridge. It means it's cutting off the top of the paper. But in general, it's staying attached to the rest of the page. The next style of cartridge I'm going to show you is going to be a chain style. I have cable chain here to show. And so that's going to bring me to how to release the cartridge. So there's a button on the back that you will press. It does not actually eject the cartridge. It doesn't push the cartridge out. You'll need to use gravity to do that. So I go ahead and I press the button, and I'm going to hold my hand here and tilt it, and my cartridge falls out. I have a couple cartridges that stick, so I just have to kind of shake them a little bit and they come out. I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to my cable chain. I'm going to go ahead and just use the other side of my crimson cardstock here. And I'm going to go ahead and punch cable chain down the line here. One thing I want you to know is if I'm punching cardstock here, the Creative Memories cardstock should all punch well. Sometimes the thicker shimmer papers can be a little bit of a challenge. You definitely don't want to use glitter paper. You don't want to use anything that's super thick. Sometimes really thin designer paper doesn't cut well. You can fold over designer paper and punch two sheets of designer paper at once. You cannot fold over cardstock. Cardstock is you only do one piece at a time. The designer paper you can actually fold in half and punch down two pieces at a time. And sometimes that works if you have one that just needs a little bit more thickness to it to get it to punch right. But cardstock in general will punch fairly well depending on the punch you're using. So you can see here, I've punched out cable chain, and you can see that it released completely from my paper. So that was what makes it, when we call it a chain, that's what we're talking about. It made a chain that comes away completely from the paper. The next style of border maker cartridge I want to talk about is going to be what I call a punch out. I've also heard it referred to as a knockout. And for this example, I'm using arrow cartridge. And here you can see I'm only punching out an arrow. I'm not taking anything off the top. I'm not taking anything off the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. And I'm going to slide this over, pull my tray back, and I'm going to punch some arrows down the line. And the nice part about arrows, one of my favorite things, is I actually get these lovely arrow punches out of it. So these I could set aside to use for another project. Or if I wanted to just punch a few arrows, say I just decide I need arrows, I can actually use the border maker cartridge just as a punch. Now, I can't use this by itself. I need to use my cartridge holder because this is actually what makes it, I'm able to actually punch with it. So I would just pop it in, grab a piece of spare paper, and I could punch here at the bottom. And I could get just an arrow if I was out of scratch paper, or in this particular case, I now have a tall border with an arrow at the bottom. So you can hand hold your border maker punch, your border maker cartridge, and use it that way. Don't think that you have to just use it with the paper holder. So we've talked about the fact that this is a knockout style, so we're going to just briefly revisit that. So we've got the edger style, or the topper, that only cuts away the edge, and it can have a decorative element in the middle, but it stays attached to the paper. The next one we talked about was the chain style, so cable chain. A lot of times the chain style border maker cartridges will have the word chain in the name, but not always. One recent one that's of note that was ruffled trim. It is a chain style, but it didn't have the name chain in it. And then we have the punch out or the knockout, which is going to be something like arrow. Another one that would be the same way was flip-flops, footprints, bubbles. All of those leave you with a straight edge along the top, and they're just taking bits and pieces out of the middle. They stay attached to the whole page. Now, obviously, once you've punched a knockout or an edge, a topper, is you just use your trimmer and you can go ahead and cut that off, and now you have a border strip ready to go. One thing I want to point out too is I've showed you how to use this with the with a full piece of paper or a larger piece of paper that connects nicely here with the magnets. But you can use smaller strips of paper. So if you have just some extra scraps, extra strips, don't think that you can't use your border maker punch, your cartridge system with it. What you can do here is, as long as you fill the tray up over here to this white section, you'll be able to go ahead and punch this with the border maker system. The key to this whole trick is using Post-it notes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach some Post-it notes. Now, when I put this into my paper holder, those Post-it notes are going to be what locks into place. It stays attached, and I can go ahead and punch with this. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a cable chain. and just punch down the line. The ones that I'm showing you here, I haven't needed to lift and clear out my pieces, but do keep that in mind. If you start to have problems, things are getting jammed up, you might have to punch, pull away, make sure that all of any pieces up in here are cleared out of the way before you continue down the line. So there I have a nice piece. The next thing I want to talk about is the different Creative Memories right now is the exclusive seller of anything that's related to a border maker system, this type of system. They own the patent on it. But you, on the aftermarket, the resale market, you can find other cartridges. So Creative Memories, when they first had the border maker system, they had blue cartridges. So there's going to be various retired styles that are blue cartridge, and those are Creative Memories ones. They have the Creative Memories logo on them. This one here is gingerbread. Another company that came out with them was Our Memories for Life. And they had border maker cartridges as well. So this is one of the earlier ones from Our Memories from Life. It's kind of that greenish teal color. Our Memories for Life also then came out with white ones that have, they're white with the green logo on them. So you can find both these styles in the resale market. Another company that came out with them, and I'm not 100% sure of the history of them, is Marvy. Marvy, I think it's Marvy Ukidah. They make punches and markers and other type of stuff. So they had a border maker system, and they called it something else, and I'd have to look that up. But they had gray ones. And I actually think the Marvy ones were bought out by Our Memories for Life, because I've seen some of the Marvy styles also available through Our Memories for Life. So these are the various ones you can find in the on the resale market. Some of them are easier to find than others. Something like Footprints is nearly impossible to find. Other ones like Crown and a few other ones are easier to find because they're just not quite as popular. So these are the 5 different styles. This is the current style that you'll see. They all work with our blue system, the blue and white system. If you have this paper tray, and notably the cartridge holder from Creative Memories, you can use all of these. If you have the gray system that initially came out from Creative Memories, you would need to modify the gray ones from Marvy to work in that gray cartridge holder. I'll just quickly point it out. You can see here, Creative Memories they have these 2 grooves here. The same for the Our Memories for Life. Marvy did not have those grooves. If you have a gray cartridge holder, you would need to make those grooves. If you have the blue and white, it doesn't require those grooves in order to be used. So these just slide right in and they're ready to go. So there's lots of options with the Creative Memories, the border maker system, the border maker cartridges. We're going to go into various ways to use it, handheld, reversing directions, mix and matching what you're doing. So many options to use it. It's a great system. If you have some tips or tricks or questions about the border maker system, please ask them in the group. We'd love to hear from you how you've been using it, answer any questions you have, and we're looking forward to showing you some ideas at the upcoming crop. Thanks for watching.